What's up, Block fam? In the shop today, and I previously hinted regarding the Tacoma about some updates coming for it. That update is that I have sold the truck. In the shop, we also have Zuko here. A bit restless at the moment. So yeah, the Tacoma. I hinted a while back about, I don't know, having the idea of potentially selling it because I was looking for something bigger for a couple reasons. Cab space, towing capacity, the value of the truck right now with the current market, definitely the time to sell it. You know, I had like a pretty decent amount of positive equity in it. I don't really talk too much about finances on this channel though, so if you guys are following the used car market at all, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The fact that you can sell used cars right now for a profit, pretty crazy, which is one of the reasons that I sold it, but also the fact that I was looking to upgrade. The fact that it does have the value that it does though is one of the big reasons I went ahead and pulled the trigger and sold the truck. So the buyer is actually on the way to pick up the truck today, and before I get rid of it and he takes it home with him, I figured I would do kind of like a 40,000 mile review on the truck, just to let any of you Tacoma owners out there or future potential Tacoma owners out there know kind of what you're getting into if you're considering getting a Tacoma. TLDR, amazing truck, would highly recommend it. Zero issues, and you guys know Toyota reliability. The truck has just been absolutely amazing, and I'm kind of sad. I'm not even kind of sad, I'm really sad to see it go. I wish I could do both, you know, have two vehicles, but the bank account says no. I got other things to invest in, such as, you know, this shop that we're building out. Anyways, let's roll the intro and we'll get into it. Alright guys, so this is a 40,000 mile review on this truck. I had it from when it was brand new. It is a 2019 Toyota Tacoma TRD Sport. I have done a decent amount of modifications to it, from suspension, wheels, tires, bumper, roof rack, interior stuff as well. Some people would say that's like a decent amount of stuff, so some people wouldn't. The bumper was a pretty big modification, and I actually had more plans to finish it out. I did have the parts in to basically complete this, from the LED lights, because this stock fogs, that one got cracked by a rock hitting it, and so I got little 4 LED lights from I want to say Heretic for like a Black Friday sale, and I had planned on installing the harness and wiring them up and all that good stuff just to the fogs. And then I also had a single 20-inch LED light bar that I was going to put in it. I had a winch as well, and then I also had some ditch lights that I was going to put coming out of the hood, and those were like little 2 LED lights. So I did pull off like a lot of the stock parts, such as the headlights, the taillights, but I do have them over there for the seller. I know a lot of you guys will have questions on the wheel and tire setup, but I'm going to include everything in terms of that setup down in the description below. The wheels are 16-inch. I forget the name of the model, but it's by a company called Stealth Custom Series, or SCS. And then the tires are BF Goodrich KO2s. I've had a lot of questions on these tires, and they're amazing. Love them. They've got a ton of tread life left. I've talked to people about using these tires, and they say they get about 80,000 miles out of them, which is crazy. That's a lot of miles. So BF Goodrich KO2s all the way around. I've kept up with rotating them, kept up with changing the oil every 3,000 to 5,000 miles, and the truck has been awesome. I've never had a check engine light. I've never had any issues with it at all. The only issue that I have had with the truck is with the little key fob, which I've got here. Whenever I installed the light here, there was some interference with the LEDs, which none of these manufacturers tell you about. The LEDs do interfere with the signal from the fob, unfortunately, and everything that I installed on the truck was good until I installed these lights. The holder is from Meso Customs, and the lights are Baja Design, and they're amazing lights, incredibly bright, but they do mess with the functionality of the fob. So usually from this angle, which is interesting because it's like this angle of the truck, it'll work. Yeah, see? And then unlock. These things are crazy bright, right? But from the back, like over here, so it'll work there. Seems to be working everywhere now. Really? What a punk. Just made me a liar. Anyways, I used to have issues with it. Maybe it's from a further distance, or maybe it's because we're in the warehouse here, so the signal isn't, I have no idea. Anyways, yeah, that was pretty much the only issue that I've had. Nothing else. Like I said, I'll be sure to drop a full modification list down in the description below, so you guys can check it out if you're interested in, you know, potentially building out a Tacoma like this one. You know, I was just going for that blacked out look. I thought at some point maybe I might incorporate little splashes of color, but I just never did, and so it just kind of became a blacked out Tacoma. I did use the roof rack occasionally for kayaks. There was something else that I hauled with it as well, but the roof rack is from Princew. Awesome, great addition to the Tacoma. However, the downside of that is that there is a ton of wind noise on the highway with that thing, even with it at its lowest setting. So you guys can see there's multiple settings that you can use here for it. And so I've got it at the lowest so that it's, you know, as close to the windshield as possible. And still a decent amount of wind noise. You can feel some drag on the back. I thought with the tires that I was going to get a lot of road noise, but I really did not get a lot of road noise with those at all. I was pleasantly surprised, especially from previous experiences of friends that had, you know, lifted trucks with, you know, some all-terrain tires. Not a lot of hum, really not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So I absolutely can't recommend the tires enough. Obviously, with doing the CBI front bumper and doing away with the stock one, it did impact aerodynamics a little bit, which doing the the wheels and tires, you know, the larger tires especially, really impacts the gas mileage, which is another one of the reasons that I actually got rid of the truck, is because whenever I did do the lifts and the wheels and the tires, my gas mileage just went boo, you know, which I expected it to be worse. I just didn't expect it to be as bad as it was. So in this truck, highway miles, which I did a lot of highway miles on it, I was averaging you guys drop a guess down below. It's a V6. It's got 2.5 to 3 inch lift with 16-inch wheels, and then the tires are 285 75 16s. So yeah, you guys drop your guesses down below before I announce what my miles per gallon was. I'm gonna go ahead and we'll pause, or we'll stop here. Just kind of do. All right, you guys guess? Did you comment? So my average miles per gallon in this truck with the wheels, tires, lift, bumper, roof rack, 11.5 miles per gallon. Terrible. Like I said, one of the reasons that I sold the truck, even though it does have the V6, it feels like it's a little underpowered, especially whenever you do larger tires. You've got more of a rotational mass. The truck is struggling a little bit more to keep up. Now, they do make fixes for it. You can put like a different tune on it. I think they call it like an OV tune or something like that, but doesn't necessarily like obviously take away the weight of the tires. What they do recommend doing though to fix that is to re-gear it. And so you basically have to re-gear the back case. Nitro Gears is a company that makes like some really quality like stuff to re-gear the truck. I planned on keeping the truck forever anyways, and so I did a lot of research, and then that's the answer that I came across. Everybody basically said you have to re-gear the truck, because a lot of times on highway interstate speeds, you know, 70 plus miles an hour, the truck would kind of be searching for what gear to be in, and so it would rev up higher and it would kind of stick in like 4th gear, which is crazy, whenever you would want it in 6th gear, because you know, it's a 6-speed. 6th gear on the highway is going to give you the best gas mileage, lowest RPMs, right? And so whenever I did the larger tires, it did significantly impact that, but that is a known issue with the Tacoma. Let's take a look at the inside. That is one of the awesome features that I love about it. It's got a sensor basically built into the door handle, so when you've got the fob on you and you open the door, it knows that it's you. And then it's also got a little thing you can touch here, which whenever you go to close it, so you go to close it and then you touch here, see, it's supposed to lock. It's not locking, and that's because of those LED lights, like I was saying. Interior of the truck, like I said, it's the TRD Sport. Everything's blacked out in here as well. It does have the cloth seats. Cloth seats have been great. Obviously, just don't spill anything on them. And then everything in the interior is holding up great. So like I said, I got the truck in 19, just about 40,000 miles on it, and the condition of it is awesome. No issues with, you know, any of the buttons, any of the fitment of anything. The mirrors, everything still works. I did install some LED lighting there from Meso Customs. Also installed LED lighting there. Also installed this Molly rack which is pretty cool. Never ended up using it though. I installed it, but didn't get around to putting anything up there. I was gonna do like a first aid kit and some ammo and whatnot. The lift kit is Eibach, well, kind of a combination. So it's a Eibach Pro kit that I got from Tacoma Beast. I don't think they have them in stock anymore at the moment, but I will be sure to drop a link down in the description below. And then the rear is also the Eibach. So here for the strut, and then the leafs, it is Old Man Emu. And then we also have a spacer on the, oh man, like the carrier, I forget what it's called. It's a lot of stuff to keep up with, man. Remembering the names of everything. It's like if I was solely dedicated to truck stuff, I would totally remember it, but we build motorcycles and I'm more in tune with motorcycles. On that note, this thing hauled a ton of motorcycles. I have fit this bike over here in the back of this truck multiple times. This is a Harley-Davidson Iron 883 Sportster, so that bike will fit in the back of this truck. One of the things I love about it is the hydraulic in the tailgate, so when you go to let it down, it just slowly goes down. But yeah, I hauled a lot of bikes in the back of this, even though it is just a 5.5 foot bed. Got the bed extender on it, which with some bikes it would fit, with some it wouldn't. But the cool thing about if it doesn't fit is that you can easily take it off, put it in the back seat. The biggest bike that I fit in here was a Harley-Davidson Dyna. I was able to fit it into the bed diagonally, and the tire was pretty much setting like right here on the tailgate, hanging off a little bit. So it was a tight squeeze, but it did still fit. No issues with the bed, no issues with the latches. I actually really like the truck bed in this one because of the rails that go along the side. So these ones that you're able to, you know, loosen up and then adjust, reposition wherever you want. Super useful. And then also the spots where the latches are, you know, dedicated there, and then these ones here as well. I'm a big fan of that. And the truck that I went over to, so I basically bought another truck, but a full size, which I'll end up showing you guys probably in the next couple videos when we do a reveal. It's just out there. Yeah, I'm not a fan of like the latch system in the bed of that truck. I much prefer this one. Now, the suspension on this one, for any of you guys that are interested in the suspension, it is a little stiffer. Let's go ahead and we'll take it for a spin real quick, just to kind of show you guys. All right, just gonna take it on this fire trail real quick. It's a pretty decent suspension test, but yeah, it's funny because the suspension, it's stiff on like the road going over like larger bumps. Something like this though, it feels so good. It's incredibly responsive. Like, I don't know, I like it a lot, especially for the price. It's like, you know, you're not spending like the money that you would on like a King suspension or what's that other brand that's really expensive? Fox. I know Fox is like one of them, more expensive one, and then Icon I think is another. But like bumps like this one, like you can really feel those. But yeah, fire trail, like just stuff like this, no problem, easy peasy. Handles it with ease. This isn't even in 4x4. I mean, obviously don't really need it right now, but yeah, it's smooth. And I hope you guys can tell how smooth it actually is based on my voice. It's really bumpy. You'd be able to hear it like in my voice quite a bit. So suspension, highly recommend. Like I said, especially for the price. Driving this one, and then as compared to the one that I got, you know, being a full size, I needed the extra space, right? But this one, it being smaller, it feels a lot more, you know, nimble, which is nice, and responsive, like off the bat. But then, like, whenever you get it going, it's not quite as, you know, responsive. Awesome truck, man. I know I'm gonna miss it a lot, but I can't. Unfortunately, I can't have two trucks, just because, you know, like I said, bank account. Anyways, let's resume in the shop. All right, there it is, 40,000 mile review on the Toyota Tacoma. Like I said, this model specifically is the TRD Sport. I removed the badges, but the Sport comes with like the hood scoop and then a couple other interior options, I want to say. Lots of different models in terms of trim options and whatnot for this. All the time, people would come up to me and mistake this for a TRD Pro, but honestly, the stuff that's on there, I think it's better than the TRD Pro from the factory, right? But that's always how it's going to be. You're going to be able to like actually set it up to your liking if you go with aftermarket. So, yep, those are my thoughts on the Tacoma. Like I said, TRD Sport, and then this is the double cab short bed, so DCSB. Like I said, if you guys are interested in any of the parts, I'll be sure to link them all down in the description below. Pretty extensive parts list, so I'm not gonna bore you guys and go over all of it, but if you guys are interested in any of it, it'll be down there. Like usually when I do like test rides or review videos, I always say like, oh, would I buy it? Like, yeah, of course, I bought it. So in terms of the timeline that I had it for a couple years. Before that, I had an SR5, and that was my first truck with coming over from basically driving cars my whole life. That was pretty much like a tester. I was kind of seeing if I wanted to have a truck, and then after a couple years of having that, I was like, hell yeah, like definitely want to have a Tacoma. So I bought this one with the intention of, you know, keeping it forever and taking it off-road. And I did take it off-road a couple times. We did some meetups and whatnot with Florida Tacomas. You know, had a great time, but you know, I was building it for basically like going on fire trails and taking it off-road as much as I could here. But my schedule didn't really allow it, and so it's kind of like it wasn't really being used for what I was building it out for. So it's going to the next guy who lives in Alabama, and so hopefully he'll get some awesome use out of it in terms of which way it's being built out. Honestly thinking of doing like one of the tents, just because like the season is coming up here for better weather. I mean, it's going to be cooling down, and it would be awesome to just like, you know, go to a campsite, park up somewhere, you know, go off into the bush as they call it, and just throw up a tent. Absolutely love the truck. I'm really sad to see it go, but I can't recommend it enough for those of you that are out there potentially like considering a Tacoma. I really don't have to tell you, you know, about the reliability. There's a ton of stuff that you can search and find online regarding these trucks. It speaks for itself. So one more awesome review out there online regarding the Toyota Tacoma. This is once again the 3rd gen TRD Sport. This is the new owner. Jeff, we've been talking back and forth about selling stuff that you really care about to somebody that will actually appreciate it, and this is somebody who actually appreciates it. You sent a picture of like your previous Tacoma, right? Also over here, they've got a 4Runner, which is the TRD Pro, which is beautiful. And I mean, just the condition of that after driving how many hours? 8 hours. Yeah, looks amazing. So I know this is in great hands. Thanks for driving down and for buying it, man.
Thanks for having us, Blockhead.
For sure. If you want to like share the story about how you kind of came across this, and we ended up linking up and you bought it.
You know, we live in Alabama, and it gets so hot up there, mosquitoes melt. So we don't actually have mosquitoes too bad around our area. And it was getting so hot one day over the weekend, I took a break inside my garage from doing yard work, and I just got on Facebook Marketplace because I've been casually, you know, cruising to see what's out there on the market. You know, me being the Tacoma enthusiast that I am, I wanted to see what was out there. So there wasn't anything in Atlanta, nothing that fit my taste, unless you liked, you know, 22-inch rims and a couple of rubber bands around them. That's just not me.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
And
mall crawlers, man.
Exactly. Yeah. And so you know, I looked in Birmingham. There really wasn't anything in Birmingham, so I'm like, what the heck, I'll try Tallahassee. And so went, checked Tallahassee, scrolled down, and I saw this beautiful black beast, and I'm just like, it looks a lot like Blockhead's. And I remember him mentioning, I think it was an Instagram, that you were considering selling the truck. And so I'm like, I gotta check the seller's information to see if it's his. And I'm like, no way, it's his. And so knowing how much of a popular man he is, you know, I figure, well, he's probably getting bites on this thing left and right, but what the heck, you know, I'll ask him if it's still for sale, let him know a little bit about me. And sure enough, within like 30 minutes he responded, said, yeah man, it's for sale, you're a fan of the page, that's awesome, you know what, let's see if you're interested, maybe let's see about cutting a deal.
I immediately cut the price.
Yeah,
once you said that you were a follower of the channel, I was like, I priced it at this for everybody else, but for people who actually follow, I'll drop it to this.
Yep.
And it was like, yeah.
And it was a done deal. I mean, considering what you find Tacomas on the market right now, it's stupid how much they're going for.
Yeah.
And so yeah, my wife came home that day, I talked with her, and she's like, what are we waiting on? You know, the deal that we're getting, it's exactly you, that truck is you with everything that's outfitted with. And yeah, so it was a done deal from that point on. And then, you know, the checks were cut, and a couple weeks down here, I'm meeting Senor Blockhead himself, and the rest is history. So awesome, I'm super excited.
Hey, well, thank you and congratulations.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks to the wife as well for the approval. Appreciate it. That's a good wife. So get down here and buy the bike, or I always say bike, buy the truck.
She's a keeper.
Awesome, man. Hey, and they're headed to Plant Street because they've seen it in so many videos. So I hope you guys enjoy Plant Street.
Gonna live it up while we got no kids.
Right? Awesome, man. If you guys have any questions on it though, be sure to drop them down in the comments below. Let me know if it was insightful. Hit the thumbs up for me, helps us out a ton. Lets YouTube know that we're doing a good job here on the channel. If you guys aren't subscribed, you want to see more truck content, we do have more truck content coming up. We also have motorcycle content, building out the shop here, so we're gonna have lots of that coming up. Hit subscribe, hit the bell icon also while you're over there so it sends you notifications of future uploads and activity. Until next time, you guys ride safe out there, drive safe out there, stay vigilant. Catch you guys in the next one. Good boy. Peace. What you think? What you think? Skirt. 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 Oh. Oh. Jukebox, I go. Skirt. Woo. All right, now I'm winded. Peace.